Warner Bros. Has 100 years old catalog of, there's Harry Potter, there's so many legendary.
Way before Harry Potter.
And the challenge of streaming is access to some of these catalogs. So now having access to over 100-year worth of catalog from a major studio, that's a very huge shift in the industry. And it's even more interesting because Netflix is an European company buying such a huge studio from America. A lot of the movies that are 100 years old, how many people get to watch it? But if this catalog is now, this library is now added to Netflix, you and me, a lot of people that were born just 15 years ago can have access to this movie and watch it.
This is Soup Business Landscape. Now let's talk about something else that is happening very far from our shores. When this was brewing, people were still looking at asking questions. Yes, it's, as we speak now, is on the table. Netflix, they are to acquire Warner Bros. in $82.7 billion industry-shaking deal. Netflix, yes, you heard me. Netflix, they have announced a landmark $82.7 billion deal to acquire Warner Bros. From Warner Bros. Discovery making one of the most significant merger in entertainment history. Now, the agreement confirmed by both companies on Friday brings months of speculation to an end and signals Netflix's boldest move yet to consolidate its dominance as the world's largest streaming platform. The acquisition gives Netflix access to Warner Bros.' vast content library, including franchises like DC, Harry Potter, the HBO originals. Industry analysts say the deal will reshape Hollywood's power dynamic, further blurring the line between the traditional studio and digital giant. It also reflects Netflix's shift towards vertical integration as it secures control over both production and distribution. The acquisition pending regulatory approval comes amid intensifying competition in streaming, where scale, content ownership, and global reach are increasingly critical to survival. Gentlemen, this is one particular news that people didn't see it coming earlier on, but industry analysts just knew that at the rate at which these companies were going, those in the streaming were going to overtake them, and nobody saw it happen. If you remember very well, when Netflix came, nobody even wanted to buy into them. They were looked at, hey, get out of here. It was just like the story between BlackBerry
An apple.
An apple.
No, what's it called? This other, remember the days of Nokia.
Yes.
Remember the days of Kodak cameras. Remember the days of printers. Yes. IBMs and co. Remember the days of post office. Technology is reshaping a whole lot of things and arranging a whole lot of businesses. And those that have refused to reshape or evolve are dying. Who saw Netflix be this rich, this short?
I mean, we can see the numbers and we can see the expansion, but this is this is history in the making, because Warner Bros. Has 100 years old catalog of, there's Harry Potter, there's so many legendary.
Way before Harry Potter.
I'm just trying to highlight few legendary, of their products. And the challenge of streaming is access to some of these catalogs. So now having access to over 100-year worth of catalog from a major studio, that's a very huge shift in the industry. And it's even more interesting because Netflix is an European company buying such a huge studio from America.
Well, there's still in our second story, we'll talk about the approval side of it and the policies that is coming into play.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying. Because it's an European company that is buying one of the most prominent studio in America, is a huge shift that is going to affect other American streaming platforms. Because Netflix is in competition with American streaming platform like Amazon, there's Hulu, there's so many, American streaming platforms that are not even in Africa yet. But I mean, everybody knows Amazon Prime. So if Netflix is acquiring that studio with their catalog, they are going to knock off most American streaming platform. So is a huge shift in, in the entertainment market.
Okay.
And in America,
can you add this to it? If you remember, entertainment used to be me, my box, me, my screen,
right,
me, the big theaters.
right,
Now Netflix came and said, it's no longer going to be that. It's you and you, wherever you are, is in your hands.
right.
While others were busy laughing and saying no, they were acquiring the numbers. Others were waiting for big monies, they were taking small monies, but the numbers are now counting.
Right.
Do you see us moving way away from the traditional means of consuming entertainment?
I mean, it comes to stay. Generally, the world has moved from ownership to access. Generally.
Ownership to
access. Generally. I've seen so many smart money people that will tell you, this is very disturbing, that will tell you buying a house now is a financial mistake. Because they tell you that if you have 100 million, you can buy a house in Lekki, right? But if you put your 100 million in money markets, you get 20%. That's 20 million every year. You use from that 20 million, you get 10 million to rent anywhere comfortable on the island. You can even live in VI. And then you still have 10 million extra. And when the house is sold, you move. But if you buy the house, you have to maintain it every year. You have to do renovation. So everybody, generally, the world is moving to access. I want to live in a place. I don't have to own it. I just want to have access to good accommodation. Use the money to do other things. So you don't have to buy a lot of cassettes that you look for space to save it, when you can just have access to Netflix. And when you have the cassette, you are not watching it every day, 365 days in a year. So your subscription, you can even pause it. You can even cancel it to say, oh, you know what? March, I'm busy. I don't need to watch anything. You keep your money in your pocket. So it's come to stay. And that is why the studio have agreed to sell their catalog, because if they are not selling the company, a lot of the movies that are 100 years old, how many people get to watch it? But if this catalog is now, this library is now added to Netflix, you and me, a lot of people that were born just 15 years ago can have access to this movie and watch it.
Of course, you and me, people born 15 years ago. Go ahead.
You, me, and people, even people younger. I mean, like different generations. And different generations can have access to some of these movies and watch. And even locally, I've spoken to some consultants. They are trying to do the same for our National Archive from NTA. NTA is trying to go digital. They are trying to become a streaming platform where
are we waking up late, or we're just waking up?
We're just waking up, and I like it. They are talking to consultants, and I've spoken to people that are trying to do it, where we can have access to all the presidential interviews from 1960, all the major conversations.
Have they started digitalizing those particular things?
They have the archives.
They have it. Have they started digitalizing them?
Yes, they are just looking for the best avenue to bring it to, the digital apps for people to subscribe.
Okay. Let's come this way now. If we look at Warner Bros., most people look at them and the first thing that comes to your mind is the movies. There's also a media arm to it.
CNN.
Oh, yeah?
It's a major move for Netflix because, just like you rightly said, the streaming era is already oversaturated. So Netflix, I see them moving into live news, live sports, and every other thing. And acquiring Warner Brothers gives them full access to that. I mean, they now have their own media house, CNN.
They will, because it's not
yes, they will.
This deal has not gone across.
It has not gone across. They will have access to CNN. They will have access to DC. I mean, Batman, the whole catalog, Harry Potter, and the rest of them. It's going to be a major shift. And I know some competitors will move against this.
While you are saying it's a major shift, now let's see. The US has the major dominance when it comes to sports streaming. If this happens, Netflix is going to get into that arena and getting big.
Yes.
Do you think the US will want them to compete?
I doubt. Which is going to tell in our next story from Trump. But then again, I wanted to add to this. For those who have invested stocks in Netflix, I mean, I say congratulations.